This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture Science.
Welcome to another segment of Lore, where I look at the fictional history of popular franchises up until the main story, and I will quickly gloss over that if need be. Today we're thinking with doorways through space-time as we look at the world of Portal. Our story begins in the early 1940s with Cave Johnson, owner and founder of Aperture Pictures, a company that earns millions from scientific shower curtains. Yeah, that was a thing. This made Cave Johnson a very rich man.
I make it right, I make it right. Make it rain on them hoes, I make it right. I make it right, I make it rain on them hoes, I make it.
With this money, Cave Johnson buys his namesake. That's a cave for those of you who are not exactly the brightest bulb in the pack. Specifically, a salt mine in northern Michigan. Why? Michigan sucks, Cave Johnson. You of all people should have known that. Back on topic, this was the future site of the Aperture Science Enrichment Facility, where the best of the best, including astronauts, Olympians, and gods among men, tested their new inventions like gene splicing, combining mantis and human DNA, propulsion gel, and quantum tunneling devices. Despite their incredible advancements in modern science, Aperture was always a step behind their rival, Black Mesa. This was because Black Mesa was taking Aperture's ideas and passing them off as original concepts, eventually bankrupting Cave Johnson. To this, Cave said, and I quote, "Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt," end quote. This forced Aperture to recruit the homeless and people desperate for $60 to test their new creations. In the early 1980s, Cave bought millions of dollars worth of moon rocks when he really couldn't afford $2 worth and ground them into a gel for future experiments, such as a certain doorway through space-time projectile gadget. Maybe a gun, if you could. Wink wink. This proved fatal, however, to our dear Cave, who suffered from moon rock poisoning. Shortly after, he gave his famous lemon speech.
All right, I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
As a last-ditch effort to keep Cave Johnson up and running, Aperture started studying brainwave mapping in order to put his brain into a machine, because that can't possibly go wrong. However, after his untimely death in the late 1980s, it was determined by Cave's last will and testament that his beloved assistant, right-hand man, or woman, and possible main squeeze, Carolyn, take his place. And shortly after the creation of the Aperture Science Enrichment Center, everyone's favorite sociopathic computer, the Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating System, or GLaDOS, was created in the early 1990s. GLaDOS was powered up as an attraction on the company's first, and eventually last, Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. Whoops. This ended in an unexplained disaster, after which GLaDOS was shut down. The scientists attempted to create a morality core for GLaDOS, which was supposed to dampen her sadistic nature. One of these scientists was Doug Ratman, who thought and knew this was going to fail. Because while you can give an omnipotent computer a conscience, that computer, like any normal human, can ignore that conscience. Because he was a paranoid schizophrenic, people just ignored him and installed the core anyway. GLaDOS displayed a calmer personality at first, but this was all a ruse. She gained access to neurotoxins and murdered a number of Aperture employees. Others were placed in stasis and used for testing. Doug Ratman survived and placed Chell, a fellow survivor, at the top of the testing list, because he knew that she would never give up until GLaDOS was destroyed. Hint, hint. Outside of Aperture, the world was ravaged by the Combine. Side note, if you want to see a lore of Half-Life, comments would be appreciated. With help not coming, Ratman escaped and let Chell fight GLaDOS, and so goes the story of Portal. Ratman escaped in time to see the enrichment center explode, and Chell get dragged down into the depths of Aperture. Chell is put in an inactive stasis chamber, and to save her life, Ratman sacrifices himself so that Chell can wake up again just to fight GLaDOS, and an idiotic morality core named Wheatley.
I am not a moron!
And there goes the story of Portal 2. One of Valve's greatest game franchises. Portal is brilliant, it has a great backstory, and hey, I didn't even mention baked goods once.
You just keep on trying till you run out of cake, and the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are